Hey everybody, here's a tool for structuring your presentation. Now, I honestly think the best way of doing that is my Presentation Genius Design Pack, but here is a cheaper way of doing it. I want you to imagine when you start your presentation, when you're thinking of how to make your presentation in the first place, that instead of making a presentation, you're having a phone call. Okay, so on the far end of the phone is, well, we'll come to who should be on the far end of the phone in a moment, but on the far end of the phone is your audience. And you start off the phone call by explaining stuff to them, and then they have a question and you answer that question, and then you say something else and they have another question and you answer that question, and you say a third thing, and so on, and it becomes a rolling thing that goes on and on and on. Now, what I want you to do is imagine, pretend you have recorded your end of that conversation. Because if you have been talking sensibly to the person on the far end of the phone call, what should have happened is that this little device here, the magic fast speaking apparatus, what should have happened is that your conversation explains everything to your audience in a way which is kind of organic, because they've steered it by asking questions and all that kind of thing. And what you've got then in your end of the conversation is a reasonable starting point for the structure of your presentation. It's not perfect, but it's a reasonable starting point. Now, you can take this idea a little bit further and you can use it as a test for your presentation. So you can design your presentation and then you can use this technique for checking it out. Does it feel conversational? And you can use this technique in a third way, which is to just imagine how you should be speaking to your audience when you're actually delivering. Okay, imagine you're just having a conversation with your audience. It's just that nobody can hear the audience's bit back to you. So all they hear is your conversation. Because what that does is change your entire mindset about the presentation. And instead of it being a performance, darling, it just becomes a casual chat. And that does a whole bunch of good things. First off, it relieves the pressure. It makes you less nervous. And secondly, it makes you so much more relatable to the audience because you're not preaching at them. You're just talking with them. Albeit they're not really in a position always to talk about. So that's it. The humble telephone. It's an old one, isn't it? This is a landline. This is my landline. I actually use an iPhone for pretty much everything, but iPhones make rubbish props compared to these things. So that's it. Think about recording yourself. Now, the second question is, who should be on the far end of the phone call? Well, in an ideal world, it'd be the kind of person who's going to be in your audience. Okay, so if you can get that, fantastic. But remember that the risk you run is that the people to whom you are speaking down the phone probably know you a little bit, and they'll be able to kind of blur the lines and read between the lines if you happen to use jargon and so on. So what I want you to do is consider getting a metaphorical teenager. Don't drag one off the street. And talk to them. Now, the reason I say you want to be talking to them is because teenagers don't know much, but they think they do. But the important thing is they learn incredibly quickly. So if you're talking to somebody who doesn't know what you're talking about, but who learns fast, that pretty much makes them the perfect surrogate for an audience. Okay, have fun. That's it. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.